Welcome to Reddit Tell. Today we have a story from r/relationship advice. There is an update, so make sure you stick around for that, and don't forget to leave all of your comments down below. I, 28 male, think I slept with my girlfriend's 20 female mum, 40-ish female, for about a year. I had not met my girlfriend at the time, and her mum has been married. I feel like my life is a romantic tragedy. Long story, background. 3 years ago, I found out that my ex-girlfriend of 3 years was cheating on me, not with one friend, but two. I was at work at the time and received an email from someone I didn't know. Subject line, I thought you should know. The video was of my ex and a friend going at it, and her moaning his name. I was angry and decided to go to the apartment we shared. I open the door and hear the moaning. Make my way to the bedroom and there she is with a different friend back to me. I pull out my phone and record for about 20 seconds, and then I tap him on the shoulder and tell him to get out of my apartment. He screams in a high-pitched manner and scrambles to his clothes and then leaves. She, at this point, is crying and going through the cheater's anthem. It's not what it looks like. I love you. Don't leave me. You get the idea. I tell her to get out. She does after she keeps trying to explain. I'm calm and slowly getting her to the door. That night, I cancel and pay off everything for the month, including all bills and services. Call the landlord and inform him what's going on. He understands and lets me break the lease at the end of the month, 30 days away. I pay and send him a video of the state of the apartment just in case. Then I make a video combining both videos I have with her cheating, with text calling her and them out as cheating, crappy people. I understand that this is not okay and will never be. I have thought about this decision every day and regret it. Set delayed message to be sent at 10 a.m. the next morning, with the receivers being everyone I know, including parents, employers, co-workers and friends. Then pack the important things in my truck and answer her constant calls and tell my now ex to come over tomorrow at 10 to talk. Factory reset my phone, left it on the counter with my keys and a note explaining what I did, and left around 4 a.m. Now without a phone and no numbers, I'm vowed to never use social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I just kept driving until I found a place I wanted to stay and lived out of my truck for about a month. When I found the town that I currently live in, I found a decent job, found an apartment and decided to go to therapy. A year later, after and gaining about £50 and just focusing on work, I decided to get my life together. I started with trying to go to the gym about 2 blocks away. They were cheap and open 24 hours. I would go before work, early in the morning, because not many people were there. I was awkward and embarrassed. This is where I met Jane. Jane is fit and in her late 30s, early 40s. It started out her giving me advice and pointers. About a month later, open flirting and touching. I made it clear that I was not looking for anything and she agreed. We started to hook up about 3 times a week for about a year. Sometimes at the gym, my truck or my apartment. During this time, she said she had a couple of kids and their dad was not in the picture. It was fun and she taught me a lot, and I worked on a lot on cardio and endurance with her. Around this time, I decided to go back to college and get real about my future. Told Jane that I would not be going to the gym that early anymore due to classes and my job. She understood and wished me luck. Early on in one of my classes, I got paired with a cute girl named Jasmine, 20. Jasmine and I started working on a project and got close. We shared a bunch of interests and hobbies while spending time studying and doing schoolwork. We went to local cafes, libraries, and sometimes my apartment for this work. One day I missed class and she came to my apartment to see if I was okay. I did not give out my number at this time, mainly communicated through school email. I just had a cold and was nervous with this virus running around. She had brought some food and a home test for said virus, negative. We spent the rest of the evening watching shows. This continued through the weekend when I was feeling better. One thing led to another and we started to kiss. At this point, I really liked her. I stopped her and told her part of my history, that I have trust issues and commitment issues. Then I told her I wanted to go slow. She agreed and we continued going slow for about a month. After that month, things heated up. That was 2 months ago and now we are officially dating. Some things about Jasmine. She has her own apartment with 3 roommates, all girls going to college, and we never go over there. We never really talked about her family because they were not that close anymore. But she said that her parents had had her when they were teenagers, happily married for 21 years, and she has a little brother 7 years younger than her. I told her I did not have any family that's alive anymore. I guess at one point last week she mentioned to her parents that she was seeing someone and they asked her to invite me over to watch the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks. I was nervous when she told me this and asked what her parents are like and what they look like. Remember, I'm not on any social medias. That is when she showed me a picture of her parents, Mark and Julie. I asked what her mum's name is again and she said Julie. Why? I said she looks like a girl I knew. Her name was Jane. She said, really? That's odd. Something about Jane/Julie is that she has a red heart-shaped tattoo on her wrist. And this tattoo was in the picture she showed me. So my question is, what do I do? Do I tell her about what happened with the gym girl, not say anything and hope Jane/Julie doesn't say anything? I know how it feels being cheated on. In this case, I'm the affair partner and I want to come clean to everything, but don't want to risk losing what is happening between Jasmine and I. Please help. Update. Well, the past week has not been that good. Thanks for all the people who replied to my last post and gave advice. To the people that say this is a fake story, I'm sorry you think that, and I understand how it looks. I would doubt it as well if it wasn't directly happening to me, and I wish it was fake. I also want to say that yes, I do admit that I did some things in the past that I probably shouldn't have done. My only excuse is that there is a lot going on and I was running on bad emotions rather than listening to my brain. Long story summarized, Jasmine and I have not talked since Wednesday and I'm pretty sure we are broken up. Full story. After my post, the next day I went to get an actual phone, not the cheap flip phone that I had. Why are new phones and plans so expensive? I did that so that communication could happen easier later on if needed. Anyways, on Wednesday and Fridays, Jasmine and I have a class together. When she came in, she could tell I was still not acting normal and tried to make me cheer up, and it worked. I asked if she wanted to grab a bite to eat at a place we like not far from my apartment. We met up at my apartment and decided to walk to the restaurant. Yes, it was cold, but a lovely evening altogether. We talked about class and I told her about my new phone, and she was showing and telling me about some of the apps and features she likes about it. I'm still not using the big 3 social media platforms. I'm still getting used to it after having a burner phone, as she called it. We went home after eating and started to head back to the apartment. We did not talk until we got in the door. Now, my apartment is not that big. It has basically 3 rooms, the bedroom, the bathroom, and a shared kitchen and living room. I walked in and sat on the couch on the far side of the room. She stood in front of me and asked what is going on with me and if this is about meeting her family. I responded that it was, and we needed to have a serious talk, and then I asked if she could please sit down. She got a sad and worried look on her face and asked if I was breaking up with her. I responded that it is the last thing I want to do, that I care for her and I trust her. She knows that for me, that is a big thing and is deeper than telling her that I love her. I asked her if she could answer a few questions honestly and please wait until after to ask questions back. She agreed. I took some of your suggestions with the questions. The first question was if I could see the picture of her parents again, and she showed me. Then I asked if she had a picture of her mum's tattoo on her wrist, which she did from the day she got it done. My heart dropped at this point. Heart-shaped tattoo with the same details and writing. She noticed my shift at this and started to ask about it, but stopped herself. I then asked if her mum goes to the gym. She responded that she thinks she did before her brother goes to school. I think at this point she was really connecting the dots. My next question was the one that confirmed that it was her mum. I asked if she had an identifiable scar describing the shape and location. It could not be easily seen. She stood up and asked how the hell I knew that. I'm not afraid to admit I started to tear up and choke up. I apologised and retold a similar story to the one I wrote about in my last post. How I met a woman named Jane at the gym down the block and how she helped me out. How one thing led to another, did not go into amazing detail but got the point across and why and when it happened, and that I have not seen her since that day until that picture. She stood there and started to cry. I wanted to stand up and give her a hug, but was afraid of what would happen. I tried to explain that it was nothing serious. We would just meet at the gym, no calls or texts or emails. Then told her what little I know about Jane/Julie via what she told me. That she has 2 kids and her husband or father was not in the picture, and small other details, including that I had no idea about her being currently married or the ages or genders of her kids. This is when my girlfriend, I don't know what else to call her, asked about when it started and ended. I think this was to get a more accurate timeline of events. Then she said that she needed time to think it over and ask questions. I asked if I could give her a hug and walk her to her car. She agreed, and that was the second to last time I saw her. When Friday's class came around, she walked in not looking like her normal self. I stood up, made eye contact, and she shook her head and walked to the other side of the room. Not going to lie, that look broke me. I went through the motions in class, and as soon as time was up, she left the room in a hurry. I talked to my professor and asked if I could finish the semester at home instead of in class. I didn't want to cause her any more problems. I made the excuse of my job sending me somewhere for an unknown amount of time, and we ended up with an agreement. I am currently sitting in my apartment and trying everything in my power to not call or text her. If anything changes, I will either edit this post or put an update on this profile. Edit. I know what I did in the past to my ex is wrong. I regret it every day. I'm not trying to justify it because I can't. With that said, I don't actually know if it was even sent out. I can't verify. I have had no contact with anyone from my past. No one has tried that I know of. No one has shown up. Cops have not came to my door. I don't have any warrants out for my arrest. Someone made the comment, what about my parents? I mentioned in the first post comments that I don't have any. I was in the system since I was young and passed from one family to another until I aged out. I have seen a therapist since I was a teenager to get over a bunch of my issues regarding this and more. I know I'm effed up, but until you are in the moment or standing in my shoes, you never know how you will act. I also want to restate that I wish this situation was fake. Since I found out I have been on a spiraling decline. I have an appointment later in the week with my therapist and hope things improve. Update. A week and still no contact, unfortunately. I sent her a message today telling her I'm sorry and that I'm still here if she wants or needs to talk. And I hope she is doing well. I'm not going to spam her. I had a couple of sessions with my therapist. It is helping, but I still feel like everything I have or will ever love is going to break me in some way. I have reverted back into the person I was, who only focuses on work and school without making any connections and doing the bare minimum of interactions. This is a really unfortunate situation. It's awful that your relationship is likely over, but moving forward as a couple would have just been a constant reminder of what happened. You didn't set out to hurt anyone and were honest as soon as you realised the possibility. It's not fair, but you did your best to be honest, and now you have to move on. You have zero fault in everything, but unfortunately, it's something out of your control, not something you can control. It's no a-hole moment. You did nothing wrong and acted the right way, and she has the right to not continue this relationship. 99% sure the girlfriend is ex-girlfriend now. It's good you told her the truth, given her the choice, and the truth is you being a decent guy. You are just in a crappy situation out of coincidence. Mourn the end of the relationship and move on. Unfortunately, there is no way your ex-girlfriend will be coming back. Even if her mum was not married while you were with her, it would still be a relationship ending situation. But as you were the affair partner, it is even worse. Please ignore the commenters calling you gross and disgusting, as you did nothing wrong. The only person who did anything wrong is the mum. So I'm going on the basis that this is a real story, and all I can say is that is such a random coincidence that you meet this woman in a gym, you start having an affair with them or some fun, then a little while later you meet her daughter unknowingly and start having a relationship with them. Now, I don't even want to go into what he done in the past if that really happened, because that is wrong on so many levels. And I know that the woman who cheated on him obviously was wrong in doing that, but what he done was wrong on a whole nother level. My fault is that it didn't send because he reset his phone, and I'm thinking that maybe his phone would have had to have been on to actually send that. And also, if that did happen, then I would assume that the person definitely would go to the police, because that is just not acceptable. But going back to the story, if I was in his girlfriend's position, there's no way that I would continue with that relationship. No way. I could not be with anyone that has also slept with my mum. No, thank you. But let me know in the comments below, do you think that this story is absolutely fake, or do you believe that his life really is like a movie with all the twists and turns and sorrow and heartbreak? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.